I just want to talk about grief for a moment. I lost my daughter now. It's been like 10 months ago, and I still think about her. So, to me, I'm always going to be thinking about her and remembering her. But I have done a lot of healing in the past 10 months. So, 10 months ago, if you told me that I would feel peace about it and everything, it would have felt like, no, I'll never get over this. I will never feel peace. This is like I am drowning every single day. There will never be a time that I can just function normally. That's what I was feeling, 10, 9, 8 months ago. And it was only recently. So it's been like 10 months or maybe 9 months that I finally felt more at peace with it, more than just feeling and riding those waves of grief as intensely. And so I just want to encourage you, I guess, if you are in the beginning stages of like grieving someone, the first like 5 months to me is like a blur. When I try to think back about those first 5 months, I was in such like trauma and grief that I don't remember much of that. And really, it's just been the past few months that I felt normal again, that I felt like I still think of my daughter every single day in one way or another. I'll see a picture of her, or even if I don't have photos that I come across, I just think about her. It's just on my mind. And so there are some days that, I'll cry about it, but it's really not near as much as it was, when it was a few months out from her passing away. That part for me has lessened a lot, but there still are those moments where I think about her or watch a video or something and it makes me tear up. But really, I just think back. I see people who are losing people that are close to them. And I think back to those moments for me and how I felt so numb. Like the first few weeks after my daughter passed away, it was just, I felt so numb. I was almost like, how am I not more upset about it? And I just want to speak to you, if you're in the beginning stages of this, don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Okay, I've had people judge me. I have read messages between other people who were supposedly my friends, and they talk about me. How could she be smiling the day after her child passed away? How could she be doing this or that? Well, first of all, none of those people have ever been in my position, so they, of course, don't understand. But secondly, if you find yourself in that position where you're worried about what others think, I'm just here to tell you it makes no difference what other people think. They can't understand your situation. They've not walked in your shoes. They don't understand whatsoever. And so don't worry about what anybody else may be thinking or what you feel like you should be feeling. So the first, I guess, few weeks after my daughter passed away, yes, I was crying. Yes, I was doing a lot of like weeping and stuff, but I still felt like it should hurt more than this. Like I should feel like, how am I even functioning right now? Because I still functioned, I still did things, and I thought, how am I not in such a deep pit of depression? I just lost my daughter. And so just because of what the world like kind of stereotypes death and like what the mother would be like, or if you lost a spouse, what you would be like the stereotype is like, oh, you fall into this deep depression and you can't even function whatsoever. And so just having that in my mind, it felt like it was not normal for me to be able to function and stuff. And so what I realized now looking back was I just grieve differently than other people. And there is no one way to grieve. And so for me, I did a lot more grieving, and it felt like the waves came a lot more repetitively a few months after she passed away, because it felt real to me. I was like, okay, this is real. I was probably started out in that stage of denial where, okay, I'm used to her being in the hospital. I'm used to her not being in my home sometimes. I'm used to things going wrong with my daughter. And my brain wanted to believe, oh, she's coming back. So it took a few months to like register in my head, she's not coming back. And so that's why my grief was more a few months out. And that's why I was able to smile, when I did a video the day after she passed, letting people know that she passed and stuff like that, because I genuinely was happy for her to know that she was healed. So how could I not smile? You know that your daughter is literally with Jesus, how could you not smile about that? But also because there was part of me that was in denial. And so I was able to get on a video and not be crying and depressed and feel horrible the whole time because there was part of denial. And sometimes denial can protect you. And I feel like it helped me to be able to get through all of that. But anyway, so I think that I'm towards the point of like a stage of acceptance and peace in my stages of grieving. But I just want to encourage you, if you're just starting out, to not look around at what the world says you should be, how you should be grieving. To not worry about people judging you. If you do cry every single day, if you do fall into depression, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way you grieve. Your pain is your pain. No one else can understand it. And if you are someone who maybe you know someone who is going through such a devastating loss of someone so close to them, I want you to not judge them. Don't sit there and look at someone and be like, they just lost their child, they're laughing. Like, how could they be laughing? Like, that's so judgmental. You don't understand. And if you need ways to support someone like that, because it's a very difficult time, you don't just know what to go up. Even though I've experienced, I still feel awkward and I don't know what to say to someone because everyone is so different. So offer support. Don't offer judgment to people. Don't go behind their back and talk about how they're grieving. Don't say it to their face, especially. And leave your opinions, leave them behind, especially when you're going around this person, because they may, what you say may deeply affect them. And when you're in that season of grief, like they might be, they're going to remember that. I guarantee it, because I remember the people who showed up for me, and I remember the people who turned their back on me or had something judgmental to say, or, were just didn't show up at all. I remember who those people are. Not, I don't hold grudges, but I remember and I'm aware of who those people are. And so I just want to encourage you, if you know someone in this stage of grief where they just need help, just be helpful to them. Food is like the number one thing you can do for somebody, and you don't even have to see them face to face. You drop it off at their door. But anyway, I know this is getting long, but I just wanted to put my thoughts out there because I haven't really talked about this much.